3.
Hi, and welcome to how to do a Works Cited. It doesn't take that long to do a good Works Cited, but if you don't know how to do a good Works Cited, it really kind of lowers the value of the paper. Sometimes when I'm grading MLA essays, everything should be done in MLA format. That stands for Modern Languages Association. COC and Cal State and UC schools, at least in the English department, expect you to write an MLA paper. So doing a good Works Cited is important. So I'm using a sample Works Cited from a student in my class in fall of 2024 who has given me permission to use his because he did a great job. So this is what it looks like. Works Cited at the top is centered. Okay, and it also has his last name and the page. Okay, by the way, this is a rough draft. That's why it's on page 5. A final draft, it would probably be on page 6 or 7 or 8, depending on, if you do a 5 to 7 page paper. Okay, so last name and page number are on this page, plus all the other pages of the paper. It's an MLA paper. And while I'm talking about Works Cited, let's also remind you the proper format. I'm still getting a lot of papers that are turned in without the proper format on page 1. Okay, here's page 1. These 4. Student's name, instructor's name, class and date. That's MLA format. It should always have those 4. And then it has last name and page number on the first page and every other page. And then he has the title and etc. Okay, so how to do a Works Cited. Go back to that page, because he did a Works Cited that is, I'd say, 95% well done. There's a little bit that, okay, always starts with the last name and the first name of the writer whose words you're using, okay? This is a peer-reviewed source. You can tell. This is how I can tell that someone used a peer-reviewed source. Has last name, first name, period, and then the article title in quotation marks. I'm constantly telling people to put article titles in quotation marks. Publications like journal titles and titles of books should be italicized or underlined. Well, this is italicized, okay? So last name, first name, title of the article in quotation marks. Title of the journal, Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, volume and number, volume number 39, and then the date that it was published, September 10th, 2018. Okay, also this is alphabetized. So for those of you that are not aware of how to do a Works Cited, this is how it needs to be done. Works Cited, alphabetized, B, M, R, S, and SH, and SO, okay? The first line is all the way to the margin, every other line's indented. Okay, that's how you do a Works Cited. It's the opposite of paragraphs. For the paragraph, you indent the first line and then everything else goes back to the margin. Okay, so you got Matthew Baldwin. Okay, a lot of people are putting the www, I guess, that, I'm neutral on this. If you don't put this, that's okay with me. If you put it, it's okay. But the thing that I always look for is the writer, title of the article, title of the publication. If it's an article published in a book, you put the book title here. But if it's a peer-reviewed source, it's in a journal, so you put the journal title here. Okay, McLeod Saul, here's the next one. Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs, Simply Psychology. Okay, so this is not a peer-reviewed source, but it comes from a website. Okay, that's how it's done. It has the person whose name you're citing, McLeod Saul, the title of the article. If it's an online article, if it's a YouTube video, which you could use for a non-peer-reviewed source, it always goes after the name of the person. And then this is the website with Simply Psychology, or actually, you know what? That might actually be a magazine, or online magazine, or anyway, just whatever the publication is you put next, and then the date it was published. Here's another one, Ryan, Richard, A History of Human Motivation Theories, and this looks like it's a website, okay? Here's Lawrence Shames. This is not a peer-reviewed article, but it's an article that's published in Signs of Life. The titles of books should always be italicized. The titles of the the titles of journals and books are always italicized. The titles of articles should always be in quotation marks. Okay, so Lawrence Shames, it's an article titled The More Factor, Signs of Life in the USA, edited. Okay, here's a little bit that the student needs to put in here. It should just say ED, edited by Sonia Masick and Jack Sullivan, 10th edition, etc. Okay, remember I said it was 95% correct. That's one thing it should have is ED, edited by. Okay, and then we'll look at the last one down here. Beata Souders, I'm going to scroll it up a little bit. Okay, once again, last name, first name, title of the article, motivation, what drives human behavior, positivepsychology.com. Okay, and then, so you have, this is from a website, positivepsychology.com. Okay, I just realized there's one more thing that on this assignment you need to cite 2 peer-reviewed sources. I think there might only be one here, so there needs to be one more for this paper. Let me scroll up again. Yeah, it needs one more peer-reviewed source. See, there's this one here. I guess I was so impressed that the student was doing a properly formatted Works Cited that I didn't notice it needed one more peer-reviewed source. But okay, so it has several examples of non-peer-reviewed sources. Now, one question that sometimes comes up: what if you're using something that does not, like a newspaper editorial that's not signed by the writer? Okay, see, it always starts with the name of the person you're quoting. If you're quoting something that you don't know the name of the author, then you leave the name of the author out. You start with the title. Same with if you're citing it in your paper. You always cite by the author's name, but if the author's name is not known, then you cite the title. What if it's a really long title? Then the first few words and the 3 dots, the ellipsis. Okay, so that's how you do a Works Cited. Works Cited at the top. First line is on the left. Everything else is indented. Every other line is indented, and always have the name of the person you're citing that wrote the article, the title of the article, and then what it was published in. Okay, and this is an example of a peer-reviewed source. I think these are not peer-reviewed sources. This one might be. If it's a peer-reviewed source, it needs to have the volume and the number. Okay. All right, so that's it. I just woke up from a nap, so my voice is cracking a little bit. I guess we're good. Any questions? Send me a text. Thank you.